Music in 1975 was a backdrop to life. Think soulful ballads and energetic disco beats. The year was packed with songs that still resonate with us today. But which tracks truly define an era that stood the test of time when it comes to music? In this video, we're about to explore the top 15 songs from 1975 that you'll never forget. Each one a classic in its own right. Number 15, Bohemian Rhapsody, Queen.
Is this the real life? Is this just fantasy?
There are songs, and then there are legends. Bohemian Rhapsody falls firmly in the latter category. Released in late 1975 as part of Queen's A Night at the Opera album, calling this 6-minute masterpiece just a song doesn't feel right. At a time when rock music was pushing boundaries, Queen shattered them entirely. Blending opera, hard rock, and balladry, Bohemian Rhapsody didn't follow the rules of conventional songwriting. There was no chorus, no clear structure, and yet, it became one of the most iconic songs of all time. The creation of Bohemian Rhapsody was as ambitious as the song itself. Freddie Mercury wrote the track in fragments, piecing it together like a jigsaw puzzle. Each section brought a new mood, a new energy, and a new story. The operatic section, arguably the most famous part of the song, was a feat of musical engineering. When it was released, Bohemian Rhapsody faced its share of skeptics. Critics dismissed it as too indulgent, too long, and too strange for mainstream audiences. But listeners felt differently. The song shot to the top of the UK charts, where it stayed for 9 weeks, and it quickly gained traction worldwide. It was unlike anything the world had ever heard, and that was precisely its charm. The song's re-release in 1991, following Mercury's death, introduced it to a new generation, and its unforgettable inclusion in Wayne's World turned it into a head-banging anthem for the ages. But its legacy didn't stop there. Decades later, the 2018 biopic Bohemian Rhapsody brought the song back into the spotlight, proving its timelessness yet again. And how could anyone forget that legendary opening line? Is this the real life? Is this just fantasy? Those words pull you in instantly, taking you on a journey that's as theatrical as it is emotional. By the time the climactic guitar solo hits, you're completely immersed, and when the final notes fade, you're left wanting more. Speaking of wanting more, 1975 wasn't just about operatic rock masterpieces. Another unforgettable track from this year took a softer, poppier approach to capturing hearts, and it proved that sometimes love really does keep us together. Number 14, Love Will Keep Us Together, Captain and Tennille.
Love will keep us together. Think of me, babe, whenever.
If there was a song that could brighten your day with just a few notes, it was Love Will Keep Us Together. Released in 1975, this feel-good anthem by Captain and Tennille dominated the airwaves and quickly became a symbol of unwavering love and partnership. Written by Neil Sedaka and Howard Greenfield, the track was initially a modest tune, but when Daryl Dragon and Tony Tennille got their hands on it, they transformed it into something truly unforgettable. The duo recorded the song with an irresistible energy that made you believe every word they sang. Tennille's commanding vocals soared over Dragon's bright, buoyant keyboard melodies, creating a perfect balance of power and playfulness. It was the kind of track that you couldn't help but sing along to, even if you didn't know the words. The timing couldn't have been better. In the mid-1970s, audiences were hungry for songs that celebrated love and optimism. Love Will Keep Us Together hit that sweet spot, offering a message of hope and commitment that resonated with listeners across generations. The track went on to top the Billboard Hot 100 and earned Captain and Tennille a Grammy Award for Record of the Year in 1976. Number 13, Fame, David Bowie. By 1975, David Bowie was already a musical chameleon, known for his ever-changing personas and groundbreaking sound. But with Fame, Bowie stepped into new territory, crafting a funky, biting critique of celebrity culture that remains as relevant today as it was nearly 50 years ago. This wasn't just another track for Bowie, it was his first US #1 hit, and a bold declaration of his ability to reinvent himself. The song emerged during a period of transition for Bowie. He had moved to the US and was soaking up the sounds of funk and soul that dominated the music scene. Collaborating with guitarist Carlos Alomar and none other than John Lennon, Bowie created a track that oozed groove and swagger. Lennon's influence was particularly impressive. Not only did he co-write the song, but his voice can be heard chanting the word fame in the background, adding an extra layer of depth to the track. Fame wasn't just about dancing to a funky beat. The lyrics cut deep, exposing the emptiness and disillusionment that often comes with stardom. Bowie, who was grappling with his meteoric rise to fame, poured his frustrations into the track, delivering lines that were as sharp as they were introspective. Fame, what you like is in the limo. Fame, what you get is no tomorrow. It was a glimpse into the darker side of the glittering spotlight. But while David Bowie was dissecting the pitfalls of fame, another artist was celebrating the resilience of human spirit with a track that perfectly blended country and pop. Next up is Glen Campbell and his unforgettable Rhinestone Cowboy. Number 12, Rhinestone Cowboy, Glen Campbell.
Rhinestone Cowboy.
Sometimes a song comes along that feels like it was destined to be a hit. Rhinestone Cowboy was one of those songs. Released in 1975, this heartfelt anthem by Glen Campbell captured the spirit of perseverance and the dream of making it big, no matter how tough the journey might be. The song's origins trace back to Larry Weiss, who first wrote and recorded it in 1974. But it wasn't until Glen Campbell heard the track on the radio that it truly came to life. Rhinestone Cowboy tells the story of a struggling artist chasing his dreams against all odds, a theme that struck a chord with audiences far beyond the country music world. In the mid-1970s, America was grappling with economic challenges, political turmoil, and cultural shifts. This song offered a glimmer of hope, reminding people that hard work and determination could still lead to success. The track topped both the Billboard Hot 100 and the country charts, making Campbell a household name and solidifying his place as one of the most beloved artists of the era. Its catchy chorus, like a rhinestone cowboy riding out on a horse in a star-spangled rodeo, was impossible to forget, and its themes of resilience and ambition made it a timeless anthem for dreamers everywhere. Today, Rhinestone Cowboy evokes a sense of nostalgia for a simpler time, when dreams felt just within reach. Its influence has endured through countless covers, parodies, and references in pop culture. As the final note fades, you can't help but feel inspired to keep pushing forward, no matter how rough the road may seem. Number 11, Jive Talkin', Bee Gees.
Talking, so misunderstood, yeah. Jive talk.
By the mid-1970s, the Bee Gees were at a crossroads. Their early success with heartfelt ballads had faded, and they needed a new direction. That's when Jive Talkin' came along, a track that would not only revive their career but also usher in their transformation into disco legends. The story behind Jive Talkin' is as fascinating as the song itself. Driving across the Biscayne Bridge in Miami, the Bee Gees were struck by the rhythm of their car tires hitting the bridge. That steady, hypnotic beat became the backbone of the track. Once in the studio, Barry Gibb's falsetto vocals and the band's impeccable harmonies were layered over a groove-heavy bass line, creating something entirely new for the group. Lyrically, Jive Talkin' was a playful nod to the idea of sweet talkin' or lying, but it wasn't meant to be taken too seriously. The phrase itself had a street-smart edge that added to the track's infectious charm. And the sound, it was irresistible, a perfect blend of funk, disco, and pop. It didn't just get people dancing, it got them talking. When the song was released, it quickly climbed to the top of the charts, becoming the Bee Gees' first #1 hit in the US in years. Critics and fans were blown away by the group's reinvention. This wasn't the soft, acoustic Bee Gees they remembered. This was something new, something electric. Jive Talkin' wasn't just a hit, it was a game changer. It marked the beginning of the Bee Gees' disco era, paving the way for their later masterpieces like Stayin' Alive and Night Fever. But even on its own, the song remains a standout, a track that perfectly captured the energy and excitement of 1975. It's hard not to marvel at the Bee Gees' ability to reinvent themselves, but while they were getting people on the dance floor, another artist was taking inspiration from a different kind of freedom, one that celebrated individuality and resilience. Number 10, Philadelphia Freedom, Elton John.
I used to be a rolling stone, you know.
Few artists had a year as dazzling as Elton John in 1975. At the height of his fame, he released Philadelphia Freedom, a track that was equal parts anthem and personal tribute. Written in honor of his close friend, tennis icon Billie Jean King, and her team, the Philadelphia Freedoms, the song was a bold celebration of resilience and self-expression. The creation of Philadelphia Freedom was a collaborative effort between Elton John and his long-term lyricist Bernie Taupin. Inspired by King's trailblazing career and the patriotic energy of her team, they crafted a song that felt grand and uplifting. The opening strings, arranged by Gene Page, set the stage for a track that was both orchestral and funky, a rare combination that only Elton John could pull off. While the lyrics don't explicitly reference tennis or King, the spirit of freedom is palpable throughout the song. Lines like "I love you, yes I do," and "Shine a light, shine the light" carry a sense of optimism and pride that resonated deeply with listeners. It wasn't just a tribute to a friend, it was a celebration of individuality and the courage to stand out. Philadelphia Freedom quickly became one of Elton's biggest hits. It topped the Billboard Hot 100 and became an unofficial anthem of the US bicentennial celebrations the following year. But it wasn't just popular in America, it resonated globally, cementing Elton John's status as one of the most influential artists of his time. Number 9. Listen to What the Man Said, Wings.
Anytime, any day.
In 1975, Paul McCartney was already a legend. But his post-Beatles band Wings proved he wasn't done making magic. Listen to What the Man Said was a sparkling gem from their album Venus and Mars, a track that combined McCartney's love for irresistible melodies with a sense of warmth and optimism that made it unforgettable. The song began as a relatively simple idea. McCartney wanted to write something uplifting, a track that would capture the feeling of trusting in love and destiny, with his wife Linda McCartney on backing vocals and saxophonist Tom Scott adding a jazzy touch. The track came to life in New Orleans during the album's recording sessions. What sets Listen to What the Man Said apart is its effortless charm. From the opening notes, it pulls you in with its breezy, feel-good vibe. The lyrics, while simple, are filled with McCartney's signature sincerity. Love is fine for all we know. For all we know, our love will grow. It's a message that's as simple as it is universal, and it resonated deeply with audiences. When the song was released as a single, it shot straight to the top of the charts, becoming one of Wings' most successful tracks. Critics praised its polished production and catchy melody, but it was the song's warmth that truly won people over. It felt like a gentle reminder to trust in the power of love and connection, a message that still rings true today. Number 8. Rhiannon, Fleetwood Mac. Some songs have an air of mystery about them, and Rhiannon is one of the finest examples. Released as part of Fleetwood Mac's self-titled album, the track marked the debut of Stevie Nicks as the band's newest vocalist and songwriter. With its haunting melody and enigmatic lyrics, Rhiannon became an instant classic. The song was inspired by the Welsh mythological figure Rhiannon, a goddess associated with horses, magic, and mystery. Nicks discovered the story in a novel by Mary Leader and was immediately captivated. She wrote the track in a single day, channeling the ethereal qualities of the goddess into her lyrics and vocal delivery. From the moment Rhiannon begins, it's clear that you're in for something special. Lindsey Buckingham's impressive guitar work sets the stage, while Nick's voice soars with a mix of power and vulnerability. Lines like "All your life you've never seen a woman taken by the wind" evoke a sense of longing and mysticism that's impossible to shake. The song's release coincided with a turning point for Fleetwood Mac. With the addition of Nicks and Buckingham, the band had found a new energy and focus. Rhiannon became one of the standout tracks on their album, showcasing the band's ability to blend rock, folk, and pop into something entirely their own. As Rhiannon climbed the charts, it solidified Stevie Nicks' place as one of rock's most captivating frontwomen. Her performances of the song were nothing short of mesmerizing, often described as trance-like, with Nicks embodying the character of Rhiannon on stage. Rhiannon remains a fan favorite. Its timeless sound makes it one of the most unforgettable songs of 1975. And speaking of unforgettable, there was another track that year that captured the imagination of dreamers and romantics. It was a song about moonlit nights and soulful reflections. Number 7. Moonlighting, Leo Sayer.
They're losing all their friends. Moonlighting, it's the only way.
Leo Sayer had a knack for telling stories with his music, and Moonlighting is one of his finest examples. This beautifully crafted ballad tells the story of two young lovers running away to start a life together. It's a song about risk, romance, and the pursuit of happiness, set against the gentle rhythm of Sayer's unmistakable voice. The track begins with a sense of quiet anticipation, building into a melody that feels both tender and hopeful. The lyrics are pure poetry, painting a vivid picture of two people leaving behind everything they know for a chance at love. They're only two crazy people, but they're doing it in style. Sayer sings, capturing the defiant optimism of young love. What makes Moonlighting so special is its relatability. The story could belong to anyone. Two dreamers taking a leap of faith, unsure of what the future holds, but confident in their feelings. It's the kind of narrative that resonates universally, regardless of time or place. Though Moonlighting wasn't a massive chart-topping hit, it remains one of Sayer's most loved songs. As the song ends, you can't help but root for the couple in the song, hoping their gamble pays off. Number 6, Fox on the Run, Sweet. Glam rock reached its glittering peak in the mid-1970s, and Sweet was right at the forefront of the movement. With Fox on the Run, the band delivered a track that perfectly covered the energy and attitude of the era. Fox on the Run marked a turning point for Sweet. Unlike their earlier hits, which had been written by outside songwriters, this track was entirely self-penned. It showcased the band's growing confidence and creativity, blending their signature glam rock sound with a radio-friendly edge. The song's lyrics are as intriguing as its infectious melody. Beneath the glossy exterior lies a story of disillusionment, with the fox representing someone who hides their true self behind a glamorous facade. It's a theme that resonated with fans and critics, adding depth to what could have just been another glam rock anthem. The song became a massive hit, reaching the top 10 in both the UK and the US. It solidified Sweet's status as one of the leading acts of the glam rock era, and remains one of their most iconic tracks. Over the years, it's been featured in countless movies, TV shows, and commercials, ensuring its legacy as a glam rock classic. Number 5, I'm Not in Love, 10cc.
So don't forget it.
Some songs transcend time and genre, and I'm Not in Love is one of them. This hauntingly beautiful ballad by 10cc redefined what a love song could be. With its lush, dreamlike production and introspective lyrics, it became an instant classic that still feels as fresh and innovative today as it did nearly 5 decades ago. The track was born out of contradiction, written by band members Eric Stewart and Graham Goldman. The lyrics insist that the narrator isn't in love, yet everything about the song suggests otherwise. I'm not in love, so don't forget it, Stewart sings, his voice filled with vulnerability and longing. It's a masterclass in emotional ambiguity, capturing the complexity of human relationships. What truly sets I'm Not in Love apart, though, is its production. The band used an innovative technique to create the song's ethereal soundscape, layering vocal tracks to form a choral effect that feels almost otherworldly. This painstaking process involved recording and looping over 250 vocal takes, resulting in a sound that was unlike anything else at the time. When the song was released, it quickly became a global phenomenon. It topped the charts in the UK, reached number 2 in the US, and earned 10cc critical acclaim for their bold experimentation. Decades later, it remains one of the most influential ballads in pop culture history, inspiring countless artists to push the boundaries of what music can achieve. Number 4, Born to Run, Bruce Springsteen. If there's one song that perfectly captures the spirit of youthful rebellion and the desire for freedom, it's Born to Run. Released in 1975, this epic anthem by Bruce Springsteen is more than just a song. It's a declaration of independence, a celebration of breaking free from the constraints of small-town life and chasing your dreams. Springsteen poured everything he had into this track. He spent months perfecting it, determined to create something that would resonate deeply with listeners. The result was a song that felt as vast and powerful as the open road itself. From the iconic opening guitar riff to the explosive saxophone solo by Clarence Clemons, every note of Born to Run is brimming with energy and urgency. Lyrically, the song tells the story of two lovers, Wendy and the narrator, who dream of escaping their mundane lives and finding something greater. Lines like "Someday, girl, I don't know when, we're gonna get to that place where we really want to go," perfectly captures the mix of blind hope and determination that defines the song's tone. It's a story that resonates with anyone who's ever yearned for something more. Born to Run wasn't just a hit, it was a turning point in Springsteen's career. It propelled him to stardom, earning him critical acclaim and a devoted fan base. The song became an anthem for a generation, a rallying cry for those who dared to dream big. Number 3. That's the Way I Like It, KC and the Sunshine Band. By 1975, disco had taken the world by storm, and KC and the Sunshine Band were right at the heart of it. With That's the Way I Like It, the group delivered a track that embodied everything people love about the genre: infectious grooves, sultry lyrics, and an undeniable sense of fun. It was a song made for the dance floor, and it didn't disappoint. From the very first beat, the track commands attention, with its funky bass line and upbeat rhythm. Harry Wayne Casey, better known as KC, brings a charismatic energy to the vocals, delivering lines like "That's the way, I like it," with a playful charm that's impossible to resist. But there's more to the song than just its catchy hook. It's a celebration of joy, pleasure, and living in the moment, values that resonated deeply during a time when people were flocking to clubs to escape their daily stresses. The song's layered production, featuring horns, percussion, and a steady disco beat, added to its irresistibility. That's the Way I Like It became a massive hit, topping the charts in the US and several other countries. It was the band's second #1 hit. Number 2. Shining Star, Earth, Wind and Fire. In 1975, Earth, Wind and Fire were at the peak of their creative powers, and Shining Star was the proof. A track that blends funk, R&B, and rock into something entirely its own. It's a powerful anthem of self-belief and ambition. This track was more than just a song. It's an uplifting message wrapped in a groove so infectious you can't help but move. Shining Star was born out of a moment of inspiration. Band leader Maurice White and the group were taking a break from recording in the studio when they stepped outside and looked up at the night sky. The stars seemed to sparkle with endless possibilities, and White was struck by the idea that everyone has the potential to shine. That moment became the foundation for the track's lyrics. The song's message is just as impactful as its sound. You're a shining star, no matter who you are, they sing, a reminder that greatness isn't limited to a select few. It's a sentiment that resonated deeply, especially during a time when self-expression and empowerment were at the forefront of cultural conversations. When Shining Star was released, it quickly climbed to the top of the charts, earning Earth, Wind and Fire their first #1 single. The track also won a Grammy for Best R&B Performance by a Duo or Group, solidifying the band's place as one of the most innovative acts of the decade. Number 1. This Will Be an Everlasting Love, Natalie Cole.
This will be an everlasting love. This will be.
Few debut singles have the power and charm of This Will Be an Everlasting Love. Released in 1975, Natalie Cole's joyous anthem burst onto the scene, announcing the arrival of a fresh new voice in R&B and soul. With its infectious energy and Cole's powerhouse vocals, the track became an instant classic and a celebration of love in all its glory. Written by Chuck Jackson and Marvin Yancey, the song was offered to Cole as part of her first album. The song's lyrics are a celebration of love's transformative power. Lines like "This will be an everlasting love," "This will be the one I've waited for," capture the giddy excitement of finding someone who feels like destiny. It's a theme that resonates universally, making the track feel personal to anyone who's ever fallen in love. The song is a blend of soul, jazz, and pop, driven by a lively piano riff and a vibrant horn section. Cole's voice is the star of the show, effortlessly navigating the song's dynamic shifts with charisma and control. Her performance earned her widespread acclaim, with critics praising her as a standout talent in a crowded field. When This Will Be was released, it quickly became a hit, reaching the top 10 on the Billboard Hot 100 and earning Cole 2 Grammy Awards, Best Female R&B Vocal Performance and Best New Artist. It was a remarkable achievement for a debut single and set the stage for a career filled with timeless hits. This song is the perfect finale to a year filled with unforgettable music, one that reminds us of the joy, passion, and artistry that defined 1975. And while Natalie Cole was singing about everlasting love, the legacy of that year's music has proven just as enduring. Which of these unforgettable 1975 hits is your favorite? Did we miss any timeless classics from that year? Let us know down in the comments section below. And while you're here, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.